let's get into the next lobby. Sanglin Marius, probably one of the fastest and most watched names right now. Marius, with how well he can take over lobbies and solos. We've seen him make highlight plays last week, but with their loadout now, they have 6 eliminations, but they are just down to scraps. Let's see if they can continue that momentum here, Tagata.
A small fry, a gray pump, 30 wood, Jacob. This is like a challenge that they're playing right now. I wonder what Marius has, but with that sniper in hand, what he needs is a headshot. For a second, I thought that said 1,000 below, but it's 1,000 above, so the good news is damage is something that they do have. But I think that's the only thing that they currently have. Materials, heals, shield. These are all things that they desperately need, and all it takes is one headshot snipe to secure it freely.
I feel like right now just the full picture is here. The little bit of loadout, down on heals, 6 elims, but 1,100 above the damage threshold. And they still have to get more because they will not be able to make it a couple more zones into this game if they don't find a refresh to where they can get the loot that they need. Not only materials, but the heals that will keep them going throughout the rest of this game. And that's why you see them constantly peeking through, on the lookout, trying to catch somebody on this rotation. Near miss with Marius with that sniper, but it's the persistence that is going to be key for this team.
Look into the scope. Can they land a shot? We'll take a look at Yanis Flixie, though. Talked about them earlier, Jacob. High hopes for this duo. They need a big day today. And with 3 elims on the board, good amount of damage, loadout, materials, everything they really need to close out this game, and even possibly another elimination here if they're able to catch Madax. Gotta be careful, though. One drop could lead to their demise, but there it is. Other elim on the board. Pressure from opposing duos coming through, but they have more than enough loot to stay healthy here. Yeah, and you can see instead of just taking that focus fire and just trying to hold the wall, Yanis immediately builds out, creates space for himself, and then stops the fire. So I said I'm going to be looking at them mainly for their experience and what they're able to do in situations like this. They need about a top 150 on the day today to have some sort of comfort feeling that they're going to make it to the next stage of FNCS. Marine and Quaker, we saw them go down in that last game. Just a tough spot. Storm Surge, if you're not ahead of the game, it really kind of forces your hand in some scenarios as we get later into some of these games. They were 138 above, down to 78. Rotations are going to come through here for some duos that want to rotate a bit early. Noah, though, to Gino are going to try and block them off. Say, no, no, no. I'm on the edge zone here. I don't want anybody coming close to me. It's a good time to get that damage, but also kind of claim a bit of your side of the zone. You can kind of see, if you look at the bottom right on the mini-map, where these players are based up at. The west side of this zone has 0 duos, literally. But the side where everybody had to rotate to, it's where everybody is boxed up. So based on that information, duos can make decisions here to come out on top. Marius, though, he has lost Sandgill, but he's still up. Yeah, we saw what situation they were in before. Marius and Sandgill just kind of forced their hand just like this, and you can see him just trying to scrap together loot. Does find some good heals in the form of the Flowberry Fizz, but it's the materials that he's really lacking, and this far pool. Takata, you were literally just talking about how many players are actually stacked up on the south side of the zone, and for Marius, he's gonna have to find so many different opportunities for him to try to stay alive. And you even see the mini-map, the dash coin, the players who have Rim Gate loot are not even close to zone either. There's gonna be so many players stacked on top of each other making this same rotation. I have a feeling, though, Jacob, we're going to learn why Marius is being talked about so much here. With that sniper in hand, playing as a solo, the loot in his inventory, I would not be surprised if he finds a way to come back from this situation. Doesn't even have to worry about damage here, just trying to find the correct path here to make it in without having to use too many materials. Being able to conserve those 3 medkits that he can later use to heal off in zone and find that angle onto potential players rotating in late. As you can see, almost trying to bait a shot. Players to peek him. One headshot could be game-changing.
And you see how he quickly spotted over the left side of the zone, saw how stacked it was. It goes down the mountain, and as soon as he makes his rotation, he immediately chooses to go towards the guys that are trying to tag him up on that end. He thinks it's a little safer. See how the decision makes out for him. As Veek and his teammate, they're able to find that elimination, bring it back over to theirs, scrap together as much as they can, and the minis, the Flowberry Fizz, all of these tools that they're picking up here are going to be used to try to give them the best spot as we got a possible fight for high ground going down with Yanis and Flixy. Noah and his teammates just get separated. Flixy having the high ground. One's going to go down. Noah's left by himself. A tough position with the shields breaking. He's forced to displace everywhere else but where he wants to be right now.
28 HP, forced to pop the minis now, has splashes in a Flowberry to pick himself back up, but with no duo partner, the stakes just got that much hotter. Nice tag, but it's not going to be enough. Banana's going to save his white heals here, going to be able to go back to full HP. Marius still up, still with the Flowberry, now just the 2 medkits though. Was forced to pop one of them as he's continuing to trying to get ahead of the zone. Once again, on the uncongested side, not too many duos around him. Great rotate. It's going to take a bit longer, but hopefully it's going to be safe.
Yeah, this is great because he's focusing right now on timing, not necessarily getting the shields up, because he knows when it comes to that Flowberry Fizz, it's so important as we go over mountains, different elevations, and push past different players that he has to use to jump and rotate, but he gets Storm Sickness. That is Storm Sickness. Even with the med kits, he had no chance of making it out alive.
He was hoping that the zone would pull back. He could afford it with the 2 med kits, but the Storm Sickness is what took him out. Blaha now, duo partner taken out as well. It's Combeck that just got knocked down. Once again, another player that has 2 med kits in inventory. You can see how prevalent these are in this current meta, and you're going to see exactly why, as now he's going to be able to stay in zone, find a rotate that's going to be safer, and even potentially pick up an elimination on the way in. It's going to be Taze, though, and Ro, who are up above on high ground. Noah Rayleigh picking up another.
That's a huge find, especially as a solo. Didn't get much mats for it, but at least it's something that he can work with. Spots a duo in front of him. Quickly changes layers. Doesn't want to be a part of that mess that's going down, but a little bit of indecisiveness forces him to take some damage. Blaha's going in. Solo on solo action. With Blaha taking him down and getting what he can from his efforts, but Noah had almost nothing to give over.
I'm seeing so many solos, Jacob. Are we really watching a duo FNCS right now? Blaha has to find a way to get elevated here. If this zone continues pulling towards Mount Olympus, you can see Yanis even kind of blocking off the openings on the right side here, trying to claim what I would call low in a sense here. As so many players now forced to kind of break their way through the builds. But there's so many places here where you can't even place ramps. You have to be careful, as Yanis might just pick another one up.
Yeah, they spotted out Cade and Diox there on the backside of the zone. Landed a couple of shots. Diox finds one as well. He's trying to keep himself alive. A lot of these solos doing some damage on anybody else that they find in their path. Another elimination being cleaned up. That means their team total to 7, and they need a decent performance here as well. There's a lot of bubble teams both for the lower and the upper bracket, and this is Yanis and Flixy's chance. With a win here on this game, Takata, that will take away all the pressures of the day, because then they just need to do the bare minimum from here on out.
Not only a win, already have 8 eliminations, getting closer and closer to double digits. The zone pulling back is a positive for the duo on low and on high ground here, reusing those builds that they had previously. For Diox, though, no materials, double Flowberry, knocked down to just 44 HP. Trying to think, what can I do to get out of this situation? That's not going to be the correct answer. Goes down. Yanis now Flixy, trying to see if they can find a drop or even reclaim some of the real estate down below here. Looking for angles, connects. Another knockdown onto Yanis now, bumping them up to double-digit 10 eliminations.
Yeah, you see him go to the backside of zone. Legendary Banana is going to be popped. Helock's going to begin. Flixy tries to go in, play Disruptor, but immediately gets taken down by Taze and Retail Row, who have had the high ground zone after zone after zone, but one goes down. Legendary Banana popped yet again. Taze is trying to go in to cause disruption, but he goes down. It costs him everything, and with another player fallen, we don't even know who's the last one standing. I want to imagine it's Yanis and Flixy, but we'll all be surprised together.
It looked like a free-for-all in those last moments. Elim after Elim, I think 3-4 players got eliminated almost simultaneously at the same time. Like, what even just happened, Jacob?
I know Yanis had 2 legendary bananas. We saw another banana towards the backside. but it's Cxshy and his duo that actually pulled the big win out. Capymonk with a huge shutdown. Cxshy was the one with the heals, and that was just huge because it came down to fractions of seconds, really making the difference happen.
What a way to close it out. There was non-stop action happening, but Cxshy was like, let me just, you know, watch from afar. I've got my med kits. I'm chilling. I'm doing all right. But who else is doing all right? It's Frank 11 Mini. What you got for us?